What's going on, everyone? Togevoir here, and today I'm here for Week 8 of Season 5 of the NPL National Pokeball League. This week, the Arizona Carvanhas are facing off against my friend, usually my good friend, Robb, Robin Vart, coach of the Austin Tauros, but he's been super busy with both work, and then he's also in the GPC, so he was unable to, play his match this week as he's been able to for these last few weeks, but instead he's been replaced temporarily, not permanently. He'll be back, I believe, next week. Really cool guy, AsterJ. Do not know him personally very well at all, but he has been a very solid replacement coach, and he's definitely a very skilled battler, and he produces some great content on his channel. So both his channel and Robb's channel will be in the description below. Make sure you give them both a check out, as well as the NPL National Pokeball League official channel as well, for weekly things such as recap, sets of the week, and power rankings. But going into this week anyways, so back off of our Haxing losing streak, we are 5-2 with a +6 differential, so not bad at all, but definitely not where I would prefer to be, especially given, I think, the caliber of prep and play that I've been making through this season, which has been among my best of Draft League seasons, and just right up there with everyone. Like, even versus Gypsy, without the hacks, definitely would have been a close game, and he's currently sitting undefeated, so, you know, I feel pretty good about my positioning. We're pretty solidly in a playoff spot right now, even though it looks like we won't be winning our division in all likelihood. That's fine. We're still solidly in a playoff spot and look to continue that success with a win this week. Anyways, so this is Robb's team. He has more Pokemon that didn't come, one of them being Mega Scizor, but I can't be bothered to look at all of that right now. I will edit in. I promise I'll edit in a little screenshot showing his full team, though. So that makes more sense, at least when you're looking at his prep, but I don't remember, and I'm too lazy to go look at the document on my phone. So, anyways, going through my team, first off, when I looked at team matchup, I was like, Mega Pidgeot destroys him, and it does indeed destroy him. His switch-in is a Florges, which is normally a very, very good switch-in to Mega Pidgeot, so I was like, oh, that sucks when I first looked. Actually, originally when I looked at the matchup, I was like, oh, it seems pretty good. Till I realized that Mega Pidgeot, well, actually, I knew it gets this move, but Mega Pidgeot gets a workup, and with my EV spread, which is very, very specially defensive as well as speedy, with only minimal special attack investment, I'm able to avoid a 2-hit KO by Florges' Moonblast. It only does about 40% uninvested, and I do have Roost and Workup on my Mega Pidgeot, so that should be able to set up all over its face, and also outspeed all of his team except for Greninja. But even a Greninja, if it's like, say, Life Orb Ice Beam, that does about 70%, so it definitely does a lot, but Mega Pidgeot with my spread can eat that like it's nothing, comparatively. But speaking of that Greninja, I have a Porygon 2, you know, standard up Porygon 2 counter. Just, you know, standard things on it. Next, we have a set that he could do some serious work this game, but kind of looking like, you know, the Galvantula could definitely keep it in check. I wasn't sure whether or not he would bring that. So I have a mostly defensive T-Wave, mono-attacking Air Slash, Nasty Plot, Togekiss, which, as I don't really see Hazards being the biggest threat because he can get Rocks Up or even Sticky Web, but I just neglected to bring Defog, I'm pretty sure, on this team, which I probably should have brought Defog, but I didn't. And then we have a Swords Dance Garchomp with Stealth Rocks and, no, not Stealth Rocks, sorry, my bad, with Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Poison Jab, and Swords Dance. Poison Jab mainly to ease prediction between things like Tangrowth and Florges, because I could definitely see that being a situation where I get Swords Dance up on the Tangrowth or something, and then predicting the Dragon move, he would switch into Florges, but if I could just go for the safe Poison Jab there, it's no problem at all. Anyways, next I have an Agility, Life Orb, Blaziken. I'm bringing a lot of setup this week because his team is very bulky, as you can tell, with only about half his things being really offensive Pokemon, and the rest of them being setup fodder for a lot of things. So that's why I brought this set. It can take any one hit from things like a non-offensive Tangrowth. It can even take a hit from the Galvantula, and it could also take a hit from the Florges. I probably should have ran not Life Orb because I would have to take a hit to set up on this unless I forced to switch, which would be the ideal situation. The ideal situation would be like forcing out his Tangrowth after, you know, his Florges is either dead or weakened, and same thing with the Nidoqueen, and then like his Latios comes in and I get it up, and then I kill him with knockoff. But that's basically what that's designed to do. My Jirachi is kind of a weird set. Definitely not ideal for the matchup, but I wanted to bring something to definitively take out the Megastars if he were to bring it. I didn't think it had a good matchup, so I didn't think it was likely. With things like Mega Pidgeot, Garchomp, and Blaziken, and even Jirachi all being able to easily deal with it, but I just wanted to have something else to it, and so I'm running HP Fire on my Jirachi with Stealth Rock, Energy Ball, and U-Turn. Energy Ball, moreover, for the Seismitoad, because I did think there was actually a pretty good chance that he would bring that, but turns out he didn't, so that's pretty useless. Psychic would have been much more useful in this battle, or even just Flash Cannon, some sort of stab move, as I didn't bring Stab on this. And that's going to kind of hurt me in the battle, as you will see, but I am holding the Shuka Berry, so I can for sure get my rocks up turn 1 if I wish to. But anyways, we're going to jump straight into this, and I am just going to lead with my Jirachi, and he does just lead with his Nidoqueen, and I know right here that I am pretty much guaranteed going to force him out, so I just get my Stealth Rocks up. Right here I kind of make a misplay. I should have definitely just U-turned out, but I go for Hidden Power, and that knockoff gets a crit and does a hell of a lot. Without the crit, wouldn't have done the most, but I do see the Rocky Helmet here, and I have successfully kind of chipped down this Tangrowth. Now, as you can see, he did just knock off of a Berry on my Togekiss. Now, there was a very much like big debate in my head whether or not I wanted a Berry or the leftovers, as at one point I did have Flamethrower on this Pokemon, but I decided to go with Berry just in case he brought Scizor. As you can see in this game, it really doesn't matter because it got knocked off anyway. Now right here, I should have just set up a nasty plot. It was 100% my best play. I am running enough speed to outspeed a bulkier Nidoqueen, so as long as it wasn't super speed invested. So I should have set up a nasty plot right there, and I should have set one up the next turn too. And because if I set up a nasty plot, I would have been able to probably 2-hit KO this Nidoqueen if I got the flinch. So definitely would have been my favorite to do that, but I don't make that play, mainly because I didn't think his Nidoqueen would come in. So actually I'm going to pause it because I'm really behind. I really didn't think his Nidoqueen would come in on the I'm sorry that took so long. I didn't think his Nidoqueen would come in on the Togekiss, considering that he had a Wish up. I thought Galvantula would be the switch in, but then again, he hadn't really seen the Air Slash damage on anything yet, and besides to Florges, but because Florges is so bulky, it can't really gauge damage as well. So if I was an offensive Togekiss, I probably could have knocked out that Galvantula after Rock, so it makes sense in that play. But anyways, right here, I just go for the safe Earthquake. I could have definitely gotten up a Sword Stance, which is what I decided to do here, because I do hold the Yachi Berry, so I decided if he does have the HP Ice, there's probably no way he can knock me. I mean, there isn't a way he can knock me out. I knew that. So right here, I make the safe Dragon Claw play because I knew if Florges came in, I could fire for Poison Jab here. And if he wanted to try to pivot into Latios on the Poison Jab, that's actually much better for me. I definitely should have clicked EQ there, Predicting to Protect. That would have been the better play, because then I really might have been able to catch something, but I'm not able to, and I don't have. I could have switched in to Porygon here, but I decided to get a free switch into it. So I get the attack boost here, which, you know, is going to be pretty useless because, you know, it's a Porygon 2. Just kidding, this is not your usual Porygon 2. I did lie to you at the beginning. This is a sub-sharpen Porygon 2, because I saw the ability for it to set up subs on so many things, and his offensive threats cannot deal with Porygon 2. So, as you can see right here, versus this Tangrowth, I'm going to be able to get to +6, and there's nothing he can do right here. So he fades my sub here with the knockoff, and I kind of did think he would switch out here, but he goes straight into Latios, and I just get up another sub, and I'm like, hey, this thing can break my sub, but, you know, it's lefties, it might be a little bulky, but you know what? Pichu doesn't care. Pichu does not care. It is gone. Oh my god, Porygon is a monster. Anyways, right here, I make a big misplay. I mean, okay, the recover there actually was not. The recover there was the right play. I should have just clicked return twice here. I should not have set up. I mean, even this play was fine, but I set up to +6. Spoilers, just because I wanted to, and I thought maybe I'd be able to OHKO the Tangrowth, but, spoilers, I will not be able to. And, you know, looking at the rest of his team, you're seeing nothing that can take out a Porygon 2, right? So, like, you shouldn't be worried. So, I get up to right here, and I recover up. He goes for knockoff. He fades the sub. I get another sub up. He's going to go for another knockoff, hoping I don't sub there to get rid of my Violite. I'm going to sharpen and get to +6. Now, right here is where I make a bad misplay. I should have just clicked return here. I lost nothing by... Actually, no, not right here. Right here is where I make a misplay. No, I don't. Never mind. I'm really bad at this game. Clearly. Oh, that's right. Okay, I remember now. I remember how this goes. This is where I click return. doesn't knock it out. It does 81%, showing this thing's pretty much max physically defensive, I do believe. Right here is where I misplay. I should have just gone for a second return, knowing that from 60%, or even after one hit, there's nothing you could do. But even after a sub, I know the Bug Buzz couldn't take me out. So I figured it was fine. Right here, he goes for Thunder. After seeing it break my sub, even with the crit, I knew it could break my sub. So I had to go for return and hope I didn't get parried, which I don't get parried, so that's great. So I'm feeling fine here. I'm like, cool. I can take out the rest of his team with Porygon. It's going to be no big deal. So right here, he gets a crit with the Dark Pulse, which I'm like, that's fine. He paralyzes me, or not paralyzes me, what I'm saying, he flinches me and gets a crit, which is going to put me in range of Hydro Pump. That Hydro Pump crit did not matter. It didn't matter, I don't think. Actually, you know what, just because I'm paranoid, I didn't calc it, I just assumed that it didn't matter because it's a Hydro Pump and Greninja's not that weak. Even though it was no item, and at this point it's pretty much confirmed to be Expert Belt because you wouldn't really run a Greninja with any other thing. So, yeah, I knew at that point that that's what it would be. Yeah, Hydro Pump definitely killed me. Hydro Pump even broke my sub, but, you know, he crit flinches me, and that's going to put me in a really bad position. At this point, I really thought I lost, because my team at this point is really weak to Greninja, and I make a bad misplay here. I should have roosted when I went for that Thunder Wave, and kept my Togekiss alive. I thought basically I lost at this point. But right here, I'm going to Mega Evolve, and I'm going to click Roost on that switch to maintain my Mega Pidgeot at full. That's going to be very, very important going ahead. Now right here, I should have just Hurricaned, honestly, but because of my bulk investment, but that's fine. I'm going to make a play and go out into my Jirachi, and I'm just going to go for Energy Ball here. I am going to successfully get the Spit F drop, which is now going to allow my Mega Pidgeot to come out and take out the Nidoqueen with the Hurricane. Now, I'm just going to explain something. The Spit F drop may have looked like it mattered because it did for sure put Nidoqueen in guaranteed KO range of my Hurricane. However, if he didn't, all I had to do was go into my Blaziken, click the Flare Blitz move, and that would have put me in a spot to basically guaranteed win the game, because with my spread, I actually did some calcs. He was a pretty much fully defensive Nidoqueen, if I do believe, from the damage output, mixed with how much damage my attacks are doing to him. He would have needed quite a bit of bulk to take the Air Slashes the way he was taking them. So knowing that, my Mega Pidgeot with Roost, he didn't have an attack that could do 50% to me, if I remember correctly. I could be getting that wrong, but from what my calc said, from what I thought his investments were, that was the case. So Flare Blitz was a fairly safe play, seeing what happens here. He goes to his Greninja, and at this point people are like, oh, you know, this Mega Pidgeot's gonna die. It's at 76%. Dodge a Hydro. I knew he had Ice Beam, because he showed it on the Garchomp. But I also did some calcs versus Timid Max Special Attack Ice Beam Greninja versus my Mega Pidgeot spread. And hashtag we livin', get that chew boy. And we're gonna take this game 2-0. Should have been a 5-0 in my favor. We got hacked, but that's okay because we managed to take out the last bit of his team. Mega Pidgeot goes 3-0, moving itself up to 10-1 on the season. Mega Pidgeot has won every single game that I have brought it to. Definitely an MVP. Garchomp might have more kills in it, but that's really only because of that one game versus Razor. Every other game, pretty much, Mega Pidgeot's cleaned up at the end. It's been such a good Pokemon. I would honestly say it's one of the top 5 Megas in the format. Don't listen to me. It's probably not actually, but that's how I feel right now. I'm so high on it. But anyways, that moves us to a 6-2 +8 record this season. Next week, we're going to be taking on one of my best friends on the internet, Trev the King, and his Atlanta Braviaries. That's going to be a very, very rough matchup. He has threats like Zard X and Hoopa U, which my team is honestly not prepared to deal with at all. But anyways, that is the case, and we'll have to make do. He also has Excadrill and Hippowdon, so it's looking like a spicy matchup at the best. But he is not doing the greatest this season. He is currently 4-4, leading Week 8. Spoilers, if you didn't watch this video, I apologize, but he did lose to Cheeseboy 628 and the Phoenix Sunkern this week, which means he is at 500 right now, and for Trev, that is very uncommon. So we were actually kind of going into this looking at doing a memes match, but given his playoff situation. I'm pretty secure in mine. I could afford to take a loss off of memes, but Trev really can't at this point, so I totally understand his decision to pull out of that. But we'll be facing him next week. It's always been a great rivalry, and if I have time, I'll try to put some kind of hype video up for that match. So stay tuned next week for that. I apologize a little bit for the lack of uploads. I've been really busy. I've been away a lot this past week. Hopefully I'll be able to get another Draft League Hot Takes video up. The reception for that was pretty incredible, so I'll try to keep that on the table. But anyways, nonetheless, you will be seeing NPL and CPC content continue. My Week 2 battle for the CPC will be up tomorrow. That is actually also versus Trev the King, so you'll be seeing 2 back-to-back battles versus Trev the King in the span of this next upcoming week. But anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. I'm Togevoir. You're yourself. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!